Welcome back. We are here with Mission 15 of the Nightfall campaign, Nundu Bay. So this is the mission you do if you decide to side with Melonni over Koss in where you're going to go next, whether it's the garden or Ronjok. And turns out Melonni was incorrect about Ronjok being in trouble, so now you have to go settle her nightmares. And as a result, obviously, the hero you're required to bring is Melonni. In terms of comp, not much else has changed for everybody else. For Melonni, last time I had her running an Avatar of Melandru build. This time I'm having her run a Vow of Strength build. This is the DPS build you want to run if you are running an optimal Dervish as a hero. It's pretty good if you can get the group together. It is the Dervish equivalent of a 100 Blades build on a Warrior. But anyways, without much further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Ooh, switch hard mode first. So this mission, I would say, is more consistent than Jenner's Horde, but it is also a little slower. Because you can control which mobs attack you and when to some extent. So we can attack these guys through the wall with melee weapons or with skills that just ignore line of sight. So I'm getting that done ahead of time, so that we can get kind of an early lead on killing some of these guys. After a few seconds, the doors blow open, and what we're doing is we're quickly clearing out all of the enemies ahead of time. So that way they don't take part in the waves that come into the village itself. You don't need to clear too much. You can, of course, run all the way out as far as you want, but you don't need to do that. I just kind of clear all the ones immediately in sight from the village, basically. So that way I know for sure which mobs are coming in. Where are you going, bro? I think he's going to cast Withering Aura on things he shouldn't, so I'm going to disable that. Alright, we've got more crawling in here. Let's get our last heroic refrain up. Okay. Let's go after the cleric now. Get everybody over to here where there isn't a well active right now, but still within range. So yeah, in terms of movement, just keep an eye out for where corpses are when there's a warlock active. Last thing you need is to be in one of the wells when you don't need to. Just a matter of picking your targets carefully. So now we'll clear out this group, go after the cleric. It's not as important for this mission because these guys really aren't as much of a threat. But when fighting larger mobs, and you'll see this a lot when we get to... Oh, will we see it when we... Yeah, we'll see it when we get to Eye of the North, potentially. Just make sure you know where your retreat points are. So for me, it's typically going to be back to the village right now. 90% of the time is just back the way you came. Just make sure you know where you're going to retreat to if things go sour, so that the instant you do it, or the instant you need to do it, you will know exactly where you want to go. But yeah, so far through Nightfall, we haven't really had that problem. Actually, the next mission we might run into it in Gate of Desolation, since we'll be Nundu'd. And I consider my comp weaker when I'm in it, versus not. So, we've now cleared the north side, now we will go clear the south. Once we've kind of cleared out this set of mobs here, I would say we are good to begin the mission. So yeah, this is the main reason why I consider this mission easier than Jenner's Horde, is you can, if you want to, control which mobs you're fighting just through a longbow. You just pull them back over to you. Normally I wouldn't do this because, honestly, fighting this many Marganites does not really scare me. But I'll do it. I'll show at least a little bit of pulling where I can, because it's still good to know how to do it. The main thing with pulling to watch out for, and I explain a lot of this stuff in Prophecies in particular, in those missions, is make sure, one, that you're only hitting exactly one enemy, so no splinter weapons or anything like that are active. And two, the single enemy you are hitting is not stacked within another patrol. Because if you hit an enemy and it's very close to another one in a different group, you will pull both groups. It's something that took me a little bit of time to realize. But once I did, it very much increased my effectiveness at pulling. Alright, so once you've cleared all the enemies out, you can activate the next part of this mission. So the unique thing to both Nundu Bay and Jenner's Horde are these types of enemies called Harbingers. They are immune to all damage except for the mission's unique mechanic. In the case of Nundu Bay, it is this vial of purified water skill. All players can take it, and it'll override one of your slots for the mission. So I picked it over Never Surrender since I rarely cast it anyways. And once anybody in your group has taken this skill, the true mission begins and the waves start coming in. As long as you cleared things out ahead of time, you're not going to see all that many enemies at a time. What happens is some of the mobs outside will follow in, or will fall in with some of these guys as they go in. So if you clear them out ahead of time, you do not have to deal with all that much. No one's lost their Thanos yet. And you just keep an eye out. If you have a target closest enemy, you can spam it until you see something actually fall into your health bar up top. I should probably do this now. Alright, so another Marganite group to deal with. Just kind of letting the minions do their thing while we go take out the cleric. Yeah, minions. Minions handled the job just fine. Wait here, see this enemy go through. We're pretty much just waiting until the Harbinger shows up. Alright, there's our boss there. That is a monk boss, so we're actually going to quickly rotate over to deal with him. Send Melonni, Gwen, and Norgu after him. But yeah, I remember when doing this mission as a kid, we just got overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Marganites. But we also didn't clear ahead of time, so this just makes it so much easier. Now we have our first Harbinger coming over from the south. We're going to let him come to us, and then once I've got everybody on him, I'm going to cast the Vial. So let him do that wave, come in, and cast Vial. And go after it. You have 10 seconds to do as much damage as you possibly can, so always save your burst. If you're in a group, you can plan out who's casting it, and as long as you've got 2 people, it's a 15-second cooldown, so you can keep Vial of Purified Water going forever. But if you aren't in a group, you just have to time your burst. Alright, so now we have the Elementalist boss, Scribe Wensai. I'm going to send both of my Mesmers on him. Always be careful, Invoke Lightning can hit for well over 250 if you do not have Shelter under effect. So as always with any Elementalist boss, just make sure it's there. And we've got our other boss here, Commander Shutai, or Shutal. And after this, I believe we get the other Harbinger. And then after we've killed the second Harbinger, the only part of this mission that's really at risk of wiping you will be next. And I will inform you how to avoid that happening. Yep, here comes the other Harbinger. It comes in from the northwest. Again, we kind of just wait for him to come in. We'll wait for that wave of torment. Once that goes, we are live. Alright, so with that out of the way, I believe that is the main waves, because I don't think there's a third one. Yeah. So now the Harbinger of Nightfall starts talking. So you've got to watch out for this group. And then also Zealot Shioli's group here. If you just run straight to the garrison... Xandra, where in the world are you going? I'm in the Well of Silence, so I need to get out of that. The Cleric. So the Zealot here is pretty nasty if it gets into your caster group. So make sure you're wary of that. I don't know why I'm using Vial. Misclicked. Get everybody out of no shout land, please. So yeah, Mystic Twister is a very nasty skill that the Zealot can use on you. So just make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. Once you've cleared out both mobs, you can just run straight to the fortress. You shouldn't have to worry about Elder Jonah from this point. Sometimes he does follow you to heal minions, though, because he is a monk, so be very careful of that. If you see Elder Jonah's names faded out, you're generally safe. If that isn't happening, though, keep an eye out for where he is. Maybe you send your Minion Mancer back a little bit. But generally, once you've got a whole horde of minions here, it's just not worth it to run Elder Jonah back. But now it's also time for the bonus. So we're going to kill this mob up ahead. The Harbinger of Nightfall is right beyond this. The Cleric. Everybody please get over to here. So there's our bonus, defeating 2 additional Harbingers. Both Jenner's Horde and Nundu Bay have beating the additional Harbingers as your bonus objective. Oh my god, that was bad skill to use. Oh, whatever. It'll be fine. Keep misclicking 5. And I misclicked 7 while going for find your weakness. Or find their weakness. Alright, everybody please run ahead. We are not dealing with that group. Unfortunately, we are going to lose our minions because of that aggro. So we'll see how this goes. I will instead use myself as the wall. So hit the Cleric. So I'm body blocking the Executioner here. There is a Harbinger right in front of us. Both Harbingers are over in this small garrison to the side. Okay, send everybody on the Harbinger now that I've cast it. We probably won't hit the damage threshold that we need, so send everybody a little bit back. Yeah, so Vial's back up, so we'll cast it again. And then take him out. That's one dealt with. So yeah, we've been here for about 15 minutes, so it's around the same length that we spent on Jenner's Horde. Although I have a lower DPS party here, so when I'm running like my warrior, for example, I get through this mission a lot fast, or I get through Jenner's Horde faster. We have a Cleric, yes we do. So we'll go ahead and get everybody up on these stairs here. So then I can body block as needed. Although now that we have the minions, it's less relevant. Okay, now that's dead. Let's get everybody trained onto the Harbinger. And get going. Again, probably won't hit the damage threshold. It's about to expire. Yep, right there. And so we just recast it. And it does count as a hex spell, so if you have anything that benefits from hexes, you can use that. Like if you have half skill recharge of spells, you can maintain. You do have a shot at maintaining the vial more. However, I do not on my suboptimal spear and shield here. But no big deal. Alright, we have a Sorcerer, we have the Harbinger, so we'll take out the Sorcerer first. But once this is all underway, all that's left is taking out the final Harbinger. So, get everyone trained on him, send the vial. Not getting him this round, so kill the Warlock while waiting. And we use it again. And take him out. Now there's less things that will be getting targeted, so this should take him down. Perfect, and we got a lockpick out of it. We take those. And with that, we are done with Nundu Bay. So now we're on to the home stretch. 5 missions remaining. Although on the map, there are only 2 missions that are remaining. These 2, but they're different. The last 3 are somewhere else, and you'll see that when we get to them. So as always, hope these videos are helpful to people, and we will see you for the next one.